Yo, 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 good morning. Good morning. Welcome back, y'all. Freedom March and Freedom Family. Freedom lovers and freedom fighters. Just got through doing my workout at the park. Now I'm about to go to the house and do my heavy bag routine. You know what I mean? And yeah, I wanted to touch on this here interview that the brother ChampSide did with Brian Norman Sr. Okay, he did an interview with Brian Norman Sr. this past week. And he said some interesting things, right? Shout out to ChampSide for bringing the content. You know what I'm saying? Salute to him, shouting him out. I'm going to play a little bit of the audio so that you guys can hear for yourself. I'm pretty sure if you guys are familiar with ChampSide, you watch ChampSide and you consume his content, you probably watched this interview. But one thing stood out to me where Brian Norman Sr. said, okay, what he said in the interview that shed a lot of light on the hypocrisy in the sport of boxing. Not just in the sport of boxing, but just in people in general, right? People who can't be consistent, people who are, live for the moment, people who have their favorites, and because it's their favorite, they let them get away with shit. Or even if it's not their favorite, they're going against the people they hate, like let's say a Devin Haney, right? It's okay for other people to go around disrespecting other fighters, right? And other fighters' camps and other fighters' towns and cities. But, certain other people can't do it, right? But no one bitches about it. No one is pointing this out and highlighting this. And this is one thing I wanted to do in regards to the sport of boxing, just to shed light on the hypocrisy, the ridiculousness, the lies, the misinformation, the disinformation campaigns. I have done extensive, presentations and content that showed how certain YouTube creators and content creators like to be on that bullshit. So, that's something I will never stop doing, right? And in this case, it has to do with Brian Norman Sr. And it's not really Brian Norman Sr., right? It's really the people that ride against the Haneys on behalf of the seniors simply because they hate Devin Haney or simply because they hate Bill Haney. They don't like how Bill disrespects people. Oh, I don't like Bill. He be lying and disrespectful. But if you point out the inconsistencies in the things that Brian Norman Sr. says, or if you point out the inconsistencies and the lies that run out of his mouth, then no one says anything about it. And so this is why I do what I do in regards to covering the sport of boxing. One of the things that I do, okay? It burns me up. But anyway, I'm going to play this here, the audio from this video. Shout out to ChampSide, fair use and all that good stuff, but I've used this content before, so I'm going to be stopping it and all that good shit just to highlight certain things. You know what I'm saying? So, and give my take on what he's been saying and just expose the bullshit for what it is, expose the hypocrisy. Because I'm just going to be waiting to see who else talks about this outside of the usual suspects, right? So, without further ado, I'm going to play this. Hopefully you guys can hear it. I don't see anybody commenting. So, it is what it is.
This was my thing for Philly. So I hope if any few people in the Philly in the chat. I disrespected that man so much. And I started doing it because I wanted to fight so bad. It's true story.
You hear that? Max is too. Salute. Good morning to you. You hear that? He said he disrespected that man so bad, and he did it because he wanted to fight. That's what Brian Norman Sr. said. Brian Norman Sr. is the father of Brian Norman Jr., a boxer, okay? And Brian Norman Jr. is going up against Devin Haney in November 22nd of this year. Brian Norman Sr. sat there and told y'all that he disrespected Jaron Ennis on purpose so that he can get a fight. Just keep that in mind. He came with the disrespect so that he can get a fight with Jaron Ennis for his son.
Paid that man so much. I said, there is no way that you this big. I told his brother that. I told him, let me see. I texted his brother who Ennis, but I punked out his brother too. I told them all, bro.
He punked out his brother. You hear what he just said? Brian Norman Sr. said he punked out Jaron Boots Ennis' brother. Right now I'm doing about 12 miles per hour in a neighborhood, okay? So don't, matter of fact, I'm going to stop right now. Because if I get too close to the Wi-Fi, it'll do some weird shit. You hear what he just said? Hold up, let me rewind that. Now that I stopped and I can go ahead and play this shit.
Small, bro. It's so much. And I started doing it because I wanted to fight so bad. This was my thing for Philly. So I hope if any few people in Philly in the chat. I disrespected that man so much. And I started doing it because I wanted to fight so bad. It's true story. I disrespected that man so much. I said
He said he disrespected Jaron Boots Ennis so bad, and he did it because he wanted to fight. Okay? He said he did it because he wanted the fight with Jaron Boots Ennis versus his son, Brian Norman Jr. Okay? Keep that in mind. This was my thing for Philly. So I hope if any few people in Philly in the chat. I disrespected that man so much. And I started doing it because I wanted to fight so bad. It's true story. Just so y'all know, I don't have an OnlyFans. All right? Good morning to everybody. Good morning to my Freedom March, Freedom Family, Freedom Lovers, and Freedom Fighters. I don't have an OnlyFans. I don't do any of that shit. Anyway, weirdos. Okay. Respect that man so much. I said there is no way that you this big. I told his brother that. I told him. Let me see. I texted his brother who Ennis, but I punked out his brother too. I told them all. Keep that in mind. Brian Norman Sr. just said he punked out Jaron Boots Ennis' brother. Okay? Pooh Ennis. Punked out his brother. For what reason? To get a fight. I told them all, like, there's no way that Philly gonna go for this. Not for the reputation that Philly has. How are y'all gonna go for this and let this country buck and run around and talk all this noise, and y'all not press him to shut me up? They didn't do it. Crazy, bro. They didn't do it. Y'all so loyal and so invested in this that y'all can't even press this fight. That's literally talking about y'all. I done called Philly soft. I said all kinds of stuff, but there wasn't no disrespect. He called Philly soft. He went in on Jaron Boots Ennis, called Philly out for not pressing them to fight Brian Norman Jr. Disrespected the whole city of Philadelphia because he said Philly did not push Jaron Boots Ennis to accept his fight. Disrespected, shat on, talk shit, all that good shit. To try to get a fight with Jaron Boots Ennis? This is coming out of Brian Norman Sr.'s mouth, the victim. The man and his son who claimed victim to all the things, all the bullying that the Haneys have been doing. All the, and it's not just coming from them, right? It's coming from all these fans, not even fans. It's coming from the haters of Devin Haney, the haters of Bill Haney. Oh, they're bullying. They're big boying. Oh, they're sonning their son and Brian Norman Jr. Well, what was it? What was it? Brian Norman Sr. just told y'all he did the same shit to Boots to get them to fight. So guess what? When the Haneys do the same shit to get them to sign their contract and accept the offer, who cries the victim? Who cried victim? Who bitches and complains about it? Oh my God, they're disrespecting me. Oh my God, Devin said do as you're told. Devin wanted y'all to sign up for VADA testing immediately. Y'all said give it 2 weeks. He signed y'all in the signing up for VADA. But again, we're crying victim. Oh my God, he made me do it. Oh, they came immediately and tested me. Oh, get the fuck out of here. The hypocrisy in the sport of boxing is fucking ridiculous. I don't have an OnlyFans. The best streamers tend to just whip. Good look. Where are y'all homoerotic people coming from? Why do people always post in their cars? Because it's convenient. Because if we have families and all these different things, we can take time out to rant and put out content and give our thoughts on things. That's why people do it in their cars, because a car is a nice little private space where there's no outside noise, there's no distractions. We can get it off. Bada boom, bada bing, that's the answer. Boxing, I haven't kept up with boxing since Tyson. Boxing is a very interesting space right now. What's crazy is the only reason why the guards are in DC is because the COP got carjacked. A cop got carjacked. I need to look into that because there's a lot going on in DC right now. Right now, I know they don't put the titles in these vertical live streams. I'm talking about Brian Norman Sr., the son of boxer Brian Norman Jr. Okay, talking about how he was disrespecting Jaron Ennis in Jaron Ennis City in order to entice him to get into a fight, and how now that the Haneys are bullying the Normans, people are bitching and complaining about it, but they didn't have nothing to say about it when the Normans were doing it. Okay, a cop got, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense that that reaction would be triggered because a pig got carjacked, like any other person. See, it's interesting. How come people get carjacked every day? Why don't we get the same response as the pigs do? What was it? I mean, was he off duty? Can a cop not carry when they're off duty? I'm confused. Can he not defend himself? Now he needs the president to come save him? Man, get the fuck out of here. Anyway, so let's see what else Brian Norman Sr. has to say.
Towards Philly, just so y'all know. So I apologize if any of y'all took offense. It wasn't. It was strategically directed straight for y'all to push him to defend y'all honor.
What was it? Well, didn't Bill do the same thing to push the Normans to accept the fight? I remember when I told y'all how Bill Haney strategically, on purpose, pointed out how he had a conversation with Brian Norman Sr. where he told Brian Norman Sr., we'll give you guys a shot. We'll give you guys an opportunity to take on Devin Haney and make some bread. They actually had this conversation. Did Brian Norman Sr. deny it? No, he did not. But Bill brought it up twice to kind of poke the bear a little bit, to push Brian Norman Sr. a little bit, get him a little in his feelings. And that's what happened. Brian Norman Sr. said, I don't like that. The second time Bill brought it up. You don't like it, but that's what the conversation was. That's what happened. You're making the most money you've ever made fighting Devin Haney. Please check out this SGB shot. Goodness gracious. Anyway, so Brian Norman Sr., I mean, now that you have this information out there, people, do we still need to come and cape and cap for Brian Norman Sr., pretend like he's Brian Norman Sr. and Brian Norman Jr. like they're the victims? Brian Norman Jr. on this campaign to make Devin out to be this villainous bully and all this other shit. Oh, Devin, he just think he's this and that. Oh my God, he ain't Floyd Mayweather. Oh, Devin ain't Floyd. What is it? What is this thing about trying to compare Devin to Floyd? Because Devin is not intimidated by Brian Norman Jr. He's willing to fight Brian Norman Jr. at his weight class for his belt at a disadvantage. Devin Haney has the odds against him. He's the underdog in this fight coming up. But Devin Haney is the more experienced veteran who's been through more fires and fought better competition. But Brian Norman Jr. has the knockout power. He has dynamite in both hands, right? He hasn't used a lot of footwork in his career. Ryan P., salute to you. D. Harley 2022 says Team Tank. Whatever you want. I will keep you alive in my basement living off drippings. Okay, good for you, Fleece. Where y'all people come from, man? Goodness gracious alive. Man, I know a lot of content creators that would have eliminated 90% of y'all by now. But, you know, I believe in free speech, whatever. As long as you don't start spamming and acting like a bot, it is what it is. Anyway, or if you say shit like, oh, why am I here? Or if you announce that you're leaving, then we'll get you out of here. Anyway, so it's weird how this is happening, right? But it's not weird because this is par for the course. Fighters who really want to fight other fighters and really want to challenge themselves and really want people to come to the table and all that good stuff, they will talk all the shit. So you guys can say that Devin is bullying the Normans like a bunch of fucking babies. This is the fight game. Devin is the A side. So Devin is going to flex his A side against Brian Norman Jr. That's the bottom line to it. Whether it be telling them to sign up for VADA testing right now, when he doesn't say, yeah, do what you're told. It is what it is. Make him pay for it in the ring. See, Devin is in y'all head already. Devin is in their head 24/7. I mean, but they like to talk about Boots a lot and how Boots is scared and Boots is running, and Boots is this, and Boots is that. Are you really focused on Devin? Maybe y'all overlooking Devin and think, well, how this guy with the pillow hands and the weak chin has the nerve to try to sun me? Man, get the fuck out of here with this guy. Okay, let's see how that works out for you on November 22nd. I hate people that announce that they're leaving like we all know each other. Right. Like, get the fuck out of here then. What my broke ass talking about? Boxing. Yeah, I'm broke. So why don't you help out and drop a super chat? Black Frisco kid, I've seen you in here before. Go ahead and drop a super chat. I'm broke. Help your boy out. Donate to the channel. Exactly. Huh? Exactly. I'm talking about boxing right now. Anyway, so let's see what else he has to say. Shout out to ChampSide once again. This is ChampSide's content. Y'all go check out ChampSide if you guys are into boxing. He has a great channel. Not just boxing. He covers boxing. He covers the WNBA. He's starting to get into UFC. He's getting into all different things. I'm not begging for money, Gabriel. Don't donate. Not even making entertaining content, but you're here watching me right now. I love it. I'm not making entertaining content, but you're here commenting in my chat. Aren't there hundreds of other content creators making live streams right now? I'm not entertaining, but you're here watching me and writing in my chat. I was watching to see what you're talking about. Okay, now that you know what I'm talking about, why are you still here, Gabriel? And no one's begging for money. I'm saying, if you say I'm broke, then give me some money. That's all I'm saying. Ain't no begging. I make damn good money. I'm in a 6-figure income. So it is what it is. Like, I do this, you know, to help send the message of freedom and cover boxing the way I want to cover it. It is what it is. So, but I'm saying, if you're going to complain, why are you here? Okay. Just wondering.
You feel what I'm saying? Brian Norman Jr. is going to defend the Norman name, period. Bruce Ennis won't defend the Ennis name. He won't defend Philly name. He won't defend what's his name? Bruce Ennis promotion. He won't defend no name. He won't defend nothing about him. And he shows you that right now by fighting Lima Bean. And I don't mean to disrespect the man's name, but
he's disrespecting Boots right now. They're disrespecting Boots right now because they're fighting. Boots has moved on. Boots is at 154. Yet you're complaining about what Boots is doing, and Boots ain't defending this. Boots ain't defending that. So you still going after Boots. You're talking about him in your interviews. You got Devin Haney fight coming up, but you're focused on Boots and talking shit about Boots. But you complain and bitch and moan when the Haneys son y'all. When the Haneys push their A-side weight against you, it's a problem, right? It's not just a problem for you. It's a problem for all these people out here that are haters. That's just the bottom line to it. Interesting.
he's showing you that he don't care. He's showing you that he ain't about that, bro. He announced that fight with a straight face in the interview and said, "Yeah, we tried to get Ramos, bro. You full of games. You try to get Abel."
See that? Lit House, salute to you this morning, brother. So, walaikum assalam, brother. What's up, Jim? Salute. You see that? Still talking shit about Boots. Talking shit about Boots' opponents. Talking shit about what Boots is doing. Bruh, Boots is the first, Devin Haney is the first real fighter, the first real challenge you've ever faced in your career. Did y'all try to fight Boots? Maybe. You know, there's a lot of different information going around about why that fight fell through. But you said you were disrespecting the Ennises to get the fight. Well, the Haneys did the same thing to y'all. But we want to bitch and complain about that, right? We got a problem with Devin and Bill doing it, but we never had no problem with the Normans doing it to Boots and doing it right now. Good morning, Jim from Jersey. 20 years ago, we had Steve Jobs, Bob Hope, Johnny Cash. Today, we have no jobs, no hope, and no cash. Yeah. I'm not lonely. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about whether or not I'm lonely. It's all good. James Regan asked if I'm a vet. Yes, I am a vet. So, I don't want to hear another motherfucking thing about Devin and Bill flexing their A side and bullying and all this whining and moaning. Like, get the fuck out of here. Devin is a pillow-fisted chinny motherfucker. So why are you worried about what he's saying? You're clearly not, because y'all still focused on Boots. Y'all still focused on Boots. So guess what? We're going to see how that plays out on November 22nd. Hopefully you can get a little more focus on your opponent that you got next. The toughest challenge you ever faced in your career and the most money you've ever made. You're a disabled veteran and a single dad. That's what's up. Yeah, that's rough. Yeah. So, we'll see if anybody talks about this hypocrisy. We'll see if the hypocrisy shines through and they don't whine and complain about the Normans bullying Jaron Boots Ennis. Oh, I disrespected them. I disrespected the whole town of Philly. Well, no one has a problem with this. We're not going to whine and moan. We're not going to pull out our stress cards and say, oh my God, the Normans disrespected the Ennises. Oh my God. No, we grown ass men, ain't we? Oh, but guess what? Man, I'm going to play it for you from the beginning, Lit House. This is off ChampSide channel. ChampSide did an interview with Brian Norman Sr. All right, so I'm going to go to the beginning of this clip. Shout out to ChampSide. I'm using this content. I'm giving them credit. Y'all go check this out. Great interview, okay? I love how ChampSide's strategy of getting people to say things out their mouth is pretty interesting. Yes, I'm a big black monkey. You sure about that? Because the monkeys and the gorillas and the apes are more closely related to the individuals that come out of the mountains of Caucasus. The Neanderthal. Okay, so yeah, the line of the Neanderthal is much closer to the simian than that of the Homo erectus. So you might want to reconsider that. Shave a monkey all the way down, and what skin color do you get? Do they have thick lips? I don't think so. So yeah, big black monkey. No, the hair is just black. Okay? Ed says Haney has a tough task in front of him, especially since he can't run anymore. You guys have no idea what you're talking about. He also doesn't have power to keep him off of him. Okay. No idea what you're talking about. No idea. If you say that Devin runs, and if you say he can't run no more because of what Turkey said, you have no idea what you're talking about. None whatsoever. Exactly, old dirty booger. Oh, the stress card. Gray beard, gray. It's a black hat, actually. Do I believe in UFO? Sure. Anyway, let me play it from the beginning for you, Lit House, so you can see what he said.
This was my thing for Philly. So I hope if any few people in the Philly in the chat. I disrespected that man so much. And I started doing it because I wanted to fight so bad. It's true story. I disrespected that man so much. I said,
did you hear that, Lit House? He disrespected that man. He's talking about Jaron Boots Ennis so badly because he wanted the fight. Whoever's reading this, I'm letting you know that Jesus Christ loves you. Sure. Anyway. If Devin is a runner, then Tank is running against Roach. Facts, Rye P. Let him know about it.
there is no way that you did it. I told his brother that. I told it. Let me see. I texted his brother, Pooh Ennis, but I punked out his brother too. I told him all.
You hear that? Brian Norman Sr. punked out Jaron Boots Ennis' brother, Pooh Ennis. Man, all this unfortunate, man. I hate to hear brothers going back and forth like this. But you heard what he said. It's just so that they can get a fight. So when the Haneys do the same thing, it's a big, huge problem. It's a big, huge deal. Oh, they're toxic for the sport. They're bad for the sport. But when Brian Norman Sr. does it, no one says anything. No one cares. How do I feel about Stevenson? Are you referring to Shakur Stevenson? I think Shakur Stevenson is an excellent fighter. He's a great boxer. He's a great pure boxer, but he doesn't challenge himself. He doesn't take the challenges like he should. He ducked Devin Haney for money, and he ducked, well, I'm not going to say he ducked Tonka Truck Davis because that's a whole little iffy thing going on there. Oh, Tay Jones is in the building, y'all. Salute to Tay Jones. How you doing, brother? No, Pac-Man. Tay Jones. Is that's the real Tay Jones? Let me ask you a question. If the Haneys love to do everything for the media, tell me about this. Tell me about the Haneys doing things for the media. Tell me about this.
This was my thing for Philly. So I hope if any few people in the Philly in the chat. I disrespected that man so much. And I started doing it because I wanted to fight so bad. It's true story. I disrespected that man so much. I said, there is no way that you did it.
Tay Jones, do you hear that? That's Brian Norman Sr. saying that he deliberately disrespected Jaron Boots Ennis for all of Philly to hear and understand so that they can push Jaron Boots Ennis for the fight. He did it on purpose to get a fight with Jaron Boots Ennis. That's what he said out of his own mouth. This is what Brian Norman Sr. is saying on ChampSide right now. What was it?
I told his brother that. I told it. Let me see. It's so much. And I started doing it because I wanted to fight so bad. It's true story. I disrespected that man so much. I said, there is no way that you did it. I told his brother that. I told it. Let me see. I texted his brother, Pooh Ennis, but I punked out his brother too. I told him.
Was that Brian Norman Sr. saying that he punked out Pooh Ennis? Brian Norman Jr.'s brother? Jaron Boots Ennis' brother? What did Brian Norman Sr. do that for? Why did Brian Norman Sr. disrespect Jaron Boots Ennis, disrespect Jaron Boots Ennis' brother, and disrespect the entire city of Philly? Hold on, he's going to tell you about that.
Oh, bro. I told them all, like, dog, there's no way that Philly gonna go for this.
Oh.
Not for the reputation that Philly has. How are y'all gonna go for this and let this country buck and run around and talk all this noise, and y'all not press him to shut me up? They didn't do it. Crazy, bro. They didn't do it. Y'all so loyal and so invested in this that y'all can't even press this fight. That's literally talking about y'all. I done called Philly. So I said all kinds of stuff.
Wait. What did he call Philly? Wait, what did Brian Norman Sr. just say he called Philly? He said he called Philly soft. He disrespected Philly for what? Why did he disrespect Philly? Why did he punk Pooh Ennis? Why did he disrespect Jaron Ennis so badly? And how did he do it? He did it through social media and entertainment so that he can get a fight. That's why he did it. But when the Haneys do the same shit, when the Haneys disrespect and whatnot and pokes the bear that is the Norman team, oh, he's a bully, he's doing this for this and that, oh, the social media, oh my God, he's doing it for the media. It's not personal, right? It's not personal. They just want the fucking fight. Wait till you hear this man apologize to Philly. Hold on now.
Just so y'all know, so I apologize if any of y'all took offense. It wasn't. It was strategically directed straight for y'all to put.
It was strategically for y'all to push Jaron Ennis to fight Brian Norman Jr. The same thing the Haneys did when the Normans were bullshitting about the offer they got from Turkey. But when it happens to y'all, when it happens to the Normans, when Bill is the person pushing and probing and poking, oh, it's a bully tactic. Oh my God. Oh, poor us. Oh, we can't handle it. We got to go all around the world claiming that Devin and Vada and Victor Conti is trying to set me up for a failed test and all this bullshit. Runner, Floyd, he ain't Floyd Mayweather. Yeah. What was it? Oh. But the Haneys can't do the same shit the Normans just did, right? Can't do it. Because we know that the Haneys are the most hated in the sport of boxing. And they're going to use that to their advantage. So much so they think that it's going to be a walk in the park. I ain't worried about Devin Haney. I'm going to focus on what Jaron Ennis is doing. I'm going to focus, instead of focusing on Devin, I'm going to focus on Jaron Ennis. I'm going to show video of Brian Norman Jr. doing this footwork drill in the ring and act like, okay, well, this is all I got to do. All I got to do is run around the ring and bounce around and do these little different moves and do all this. Like that's going to help. Like that's going to help. Let's see you throw combinations using that footwork. Let's see that. Let's see if you can fight off the back foot. Let's see if you can shuffle step and throw punches and throw combinations at the same time. Let's see if you can do that. Let's see if you can move around the ring, not crossing your feet and throw punches at the same time. We know you can do leaping hooks and whatnot, but, you know, we know every now and then you can do a shuffle step with an uppercut. Sure. No, we're going to focus on what Jaron Ennis is doing, who he's fighting. What y'all say, Lima Bean? Okay. But all we're going to do in regards to the Haneys is talk about and whine and complain about them. Oh, they're bullying us. Oh, they're bullying the Haneys. They're trying to bully the Normans. Oh, they're bullies. They're this, they're that. Okay, we'll see what happens. But what do we have to say about Brian Norman Sr. letting y'all know he disrespected Jaron Ennis in the city of Philly to push them to have a fight? It wasn't personal. I don't have a problem with Brian Norman Sr. doing that to Jaron. Just so y'all know, I don't have a problem with Brian Norman Sr. and Brian Norman Jr. talking all the shit in the world. Go ahead and do it. It's part of the sport. But I don't want to hear jack shit about what the Haneys are doing when in regards to trying to build something around this fight. That's all we do is bitch and complain when the Haneys do something. But Brian Norman Sr. can disrespect people. Brian Norman Jr. can come up with these false allegations about testing and all this other shit. It's all about whining and complaining. I don't see it from one side. I'm listening to both sides. See, I don't have access to listen. Tay, I know you have access to the Normans. I know you have access to these fighters. I don't have access to them. Access. They disrespected first because of Eddie. Who did? Oh, okay. But no one complained about it. If we mean because of Eddie. Help me understand that. Tay Jones. See, I'm just a fan of the sport of boxing. So I shouldn't know. All I know about is what is being presented to the media, right? What's being presented. ChampSide is a big channel. Pac-Man, my thing is this. Bill Haney, he talks a lot of shit. Brian Norman Sr., he talks a lot of shit before these fights, before they were supposed to fight. Brian Norman Sr. is a shit talker. Bill Haney's a shit talker. They both talk shit. So if Jaron Boots Ennis talks shit about the Normans first, and Brian Norman Sr. disrespected also, what's the problem? So Brian Norman Sr. disrespected them as well. He told y'all, he said, I'm gonna disrespect the shot. I'm gonna try to get him, push him for a fight. Bill Haney does the same thing by telling Brian Norman Sr. twice, we had a conversation and we said that we would give you guys an opportunity to make some money. We was gonna take care of y'all. Brian Norman Sr. didn't like that. And that's what I said. I said, I knew Bill did that to trigger Brian Norman Sr. to make the fight more exciting. It just was, it's what happens in the sport of boxing. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Coach Hudson. These dudes are out of control, bro. Salute to Coach Hudson. Y'all go check him out. Drop your link, brother. Bill made that shit personal. I mean, if Brian Norman Sr., what capping am I doing? If Brian Norman Sr. is going at Pooh Ennis, isn't that personal? Because Pooh Ennis is not about to fight Brian Norman Jr. Jaron Boots Ennis is the man that y'all want to fight. So why are y'all going after Pooh Ennis? Why are y'all calling Philly soft? You see, this is what happened. Bozy Ennis is not a big shit talker. So it was easy for Brian Norman Sr. to get it off and not have any repercussions. You know, but when the same thing happens with Bill, you know, Bill's going to talk shit. Bill's going to take it to the next level. That's what he does. And it is what it is. So Brian Norman Sr. couldn't handle it. It's all a lie. So what capping am I doing, Pac-Man? I am conveying what is in what they're putting out there. These are what they are putting it out there. Right? Brian Norman, y'all are putting this out there. When y'all go out and y'all give y'all talk, y'all say things. Same thing with Bill. Same thing with Devin. They use their words against them all the time. Has nothing to do with both. It has everything to do with Boots. Well, Pac-Man. What's up, boy? Nothing. Can y'all hear me? What's up, boy? What you want? Oh, I know what you came up. You looking for this, wasn't you? Okay. You want to come out and hit the heavy bag with me? All right, go ahead, boy. Can y'all hear me? My phone overheated, so my phone so allegedly overheated, even though it was blasting AC in the car. So Bozy not saying much. I know that. That's the point. If Brian Norman Sr. is talking shit, right, about, you know, Jaron, I think Bozy understands what Brian Norman what Brian Norman Sr. is doing. You just landed. So if Bozy's not that type of person, so I'm sure that Bozy understands what Brian Norman Sr. is doing. So he's not tripping. That's what I'm saying. No one's tripping when people talk shit in the sport of boxing until the Haneys do it. Now, these are two brothers, Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney, that are breaking bread together. Now, I'm sure Bozy been in contact, just like Bill and Brian Norman Sr. has been in contact, and it got all fucked up because, see, this is what happens. And Tay, I understand that you got some shit going on with certain individuals, but I'll say this. They had no problems before this whole thing happened, right? Bill and Brian Norman Sr. had agreed that their sons will fight each other. And that should have been it. But see, what happens is they never had a convo. Tay, come on, bro. They both went on the Boxing Voice or whatever that was, and they both agreed that they did have a conversation, and that they both agreed that their sons will fight each other. Are you telling me that never happened? Jonathan Simon, salute to you, bro. Here's the thing. Intelligent Savage, salute to you, brother. Now, I'm getting ready to hit the heavy bag, y'all, in a minute, but I will say this. They never had a conversation. So you're telling me. So why didn't Brian Norman Jr. Sr. say that? Why didn't Brian Norman Sr. when Bill said that? How come Brian Norman Sr. didn't say, no, we never talked about that? No, he never said that. He actually agreed that they had the conversation that their children will fight each other. Listen. So you're saying that Bill and Brian Norman Sr. never had conversations ever before? Is that what I'm doing? Well, look, here's the bottom line. Because I'm not in. Listen, I rock with the LDBC. I rock with, I rock with BFTB. I rock with 7-8. I rock with these guys. I support them, but I don't know them like that, right? I don't know Bill. I don't know Devin. You know what I'm saying? I don't have their information. I don't have their phone numbers. They only had a convo before then. Was Bill trying to get Lil B to camp? Yeah, right. Yes, yes. But they never talked about a fight. That's what you're telling me. So Bill, you're telling me Bill sat up there and lied in front of thousands of people on the Boxing Voice about them having a conversation about their son's fight. Never talked about. Okay, all right. That would be crazy if that were true. I don't know. Hold on. Brian Norman. There's a thing that says Brian Norman. I don't know if that's really him. Intelligent Savage, or can one of y'all check if that's the real Brian Norman? Well, yeah, I imagine, right? Because yes, the Brian Norman, they did say that they wanted to focus on Jen Sasaki. I believe that. That's Big B. Well, salute to you. 5 MEO, yes, I'm talking boxing. Brian Norman says, I'm waiting to see what you say before I respond. Well, if you go back to the beginning, you'll see what I said. I was talking about how you talked about on ChampSide that you were disrespecting Jaron Boots Ennis in the city of Philly, and you said you bitched and you said you punked Pooh Ennis. Right? I was talking about how you admitted that you were disrespecting Jaron Boots Ennis to get him to fight, which I have no problem with. And my problem is that people shit on the Haneys for disrespecting y'all, or for talking shit to y'all, or for y'all going back and forth. I'm pointing out the Haney hate, not necessarily that y'all are Haney haters. I believe that y'all Y'all got sucked into it by channels and creators that hate the Haneys and try to create division. Y'all don't have to hate each other to fight. Y'all are fighting November 22nd. Y'all both agreed this shit is going down. So I believe that there are actors outside of the Normans and even Tay Jones that are trying to stir up shit. Brian Norman, I know you don't hate nobody. I'm saying y'all got sucked in. That's what I'm saying. Y'all got sucked into the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Because I've heard you say that you respect Bill. I've heard you say that. And then the shit got out of control. Why? Because y'all got sucked in. Right? Y'all got sucked into the bullshit. Y'all got sucked into the craziness unnecessarily. Right? And so now we got this going on. And the reason I wanted to highlight what you said on ChampSide is because I wanted to point out the hypocrisy of the boxing fandom. You understand what I'm saying? Not even really you. Now, did Bill say some crazy wild shit about your mother? Yes, he did. He did say some crazy wild shit about your mama. And I don't agree with that. The shit got out of control. Yes, it did. Why does it have to be a beef? That's my question. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Tay, y'all got sucked into the bullshit. Y'all got sucked in. It's not necessarily even y'all. Y'all got sucked into the bullshit. Y'all got, you know what I'm saying? They dragged y'all onto the hate train when it was not necessary. You see, this is what the problem is. They're mad that Devin is moving up to 147 to face the best fighter, the number one champion at 147, which is Brian Norman Jr. That is what the problem is. Their favorite fighter is not doing that. Their favorite fighter refuses to challenge himself. And then Brian Norman Jr. is facing his toughest challenge in his career, going against Devin Haney. So that's something that should be celebrated, right, as a rarity in the sport of boxing. But instead, they are trying to create division where it does not even need to be necessary. Pac-Man, I don't believe you ever. I don't believe you ever hated on Devin. I don't believe that. Like I said, it turned into some bullshit. All right, Tay, listen to what you can do. You can hit me up at snapzillagorilla@gmail.com. Snapzillagorilla@gmail.com. Sleepless says handicap Superman. Okay. y'all some wild folks. I don't think it needs to be any type of derision or any problems. But like I said, y'all got people that will push this hate train, right? And I don't understand. What I don't understand is why Brian Norman Jr. would sit up here and say that if he pops dirty, it's because of Devin and that's the wildest shit. That shit I was like, man, that see, that's the people get sucked in. Now Brian Norman Jr. might have been fucking around. Brian Norman Jr. might have been fucking around, but guess what? They take shit like that and fucking run with it. Snapzillagorilla@gmail.com. That's a SNAPZILLA. Gorilla with GUERRILLA.com. Snapzilla, that's my email. Intelligent Savage says boxing is the best at destroying itself with infighting that has nothing to do with actual boxing matches. Yes. That's all I'm trying to be. That's all I want to be. This fight coming up is a big fucking deal. That November 22nd card, that is going to be the biggest card of the year. Intelligent Savage, I don't know. I can't I can't write in the comments. Somebody else has to do it. I can't. One of my mods has to do it. Only my mods can drop a link. Snapzillagorilla@gmail.com. Let me write it down. You know what? And Tay Jones, I was on what's her name's Shawa. I was on Shawa's. I watched Shawa's live stream where you came on there and gave your side of the story when it came to BFTB. And you know what I said? It was a fucking nothing burger. That shit did not have to blow out of proportion like it did based on the conversation. Because both of y'all said the same thing about the conversation y'all had. Y'all, neither one of y'all had any different stories. Here we go. Snapzilla. But, you know, people feel how they feel. Hold on, let me write that smaller. SN. And this is for anybody who wants to hit me up. If y'all have anything y'all want me to discuss. This is too much. Anybody can hit me up on this email. This is strictly for my YouTube. It's probably backwards. All right, for sure, Shower. And salute the beautiful Shower this morning. My little chocolate, my chocolate teen. She know I love me some chocolate. Anyway, Trent Spark, salute to you. Now, I saw the live stream. In my opinion, that shit was ridiculous. Even the Shower was like, what? That's what y'all beefing about? But hey, that's y'all some grown ass men. Y'all grown ass men. Y'all handle the way y'all want. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Coach Hudson says the Black American boxing fan base never got this hard in beefing with nobody else but each other. These folks call us all types of niggas and everything else, and we have all this grace for them. Crazy. Lidhouse says, I'm not even into this fight anymore, honestly, because all this madness. Well, no, Lidhouse, we should be for the fight. We should be for the fight because guess what? This is the best fight of the fucking year. This is going to be the best card of the year. Well, if Anthony Yarde pulls out, I hope he doesn't, but if he pulls out, I do actually hope he gets Arthur Beterbiev as a replacement. But nonetheless, it's going to be a great card. Bam Bam, fucking who else is on there? Brian Norman Jr. versus Devin Haney, David Benavidez, and Anthony Yarde. Just a nice card. It's a great card. 5MEO says, "Y'all, I hope not. This is going to be a great card. Can you imagine if somehow Atama got on the card against somebody who's not going to fucking lay down? Because, pardon me, but hold on, motherfucking, in my opinion, fucking what's his name laid down? Dillian White. Dillian White laid the fuck down. Like, what the fuck, bro? What was that? He didn't even throw a punch. He didn't throw a jab. He stood there. What the fuck is going on? Pac-Man says, thank you for saying. The only thing he never said what Bill is saying to make me say what I said. Again, bro, like, to me it sounded like you told Bill to say something. Bill didn't want to say it. Right? Because he didn't want to, because he already is looked at like the evil villain of the sport of boxing. So he didn't want to say that his son is a bigger threat and have everybody coming after him. And you were encouraging it, and then BFTB put it out there. And in my opinion, like, even it's crazy. Coach Hudson is wild, man. These heavyweights is crazy. Nonetheless, man, like, who cares? Who cares? It's just more shit talking the sport of boxing. Maybe that would encourage Jaron Boots Ennis to pull Brian Norman Jr. up. I don't know. Maybe y'all don't even want that anymore. Maybe y'all don't even want that. Maybe Brian Norman doesn't want the Jaron Boots Ennis fight anymore. But the way Brian Norman Sr. keeps talking about it, it's like, I don't know. I think they still want that fight. Lit House says, I'll catch the review on you and Shower Channel. I'm good off of it. I understand, Lit House. I understand. I get it. I appreciate that, Lit House. I understand. A lot of people are fed up with the sport of boxing. But see, I'm such an enthusiast, right? So I can't give up on it yet. I can't get, because I like to box. I like to practice boxing, and I like to train and all that stuff, and Muay Thai and boxing, and I think there is some hope. We just got to get the bullshit out, right? We got to get the bullshit out of the sport of boxing. We got to stop. We got to stop with the bullshit with the casual fans and giving the casual fans bad information and bullshit. Is just like, man, we need to make the sport great again. Make boxing great again, goddammit. And if people want to talk shit, they want to talk shit to each other to get a fight, I have no problem with that. But what's good for the goose has to be good for the gander. You get what I'm saying? Lit Out says, brother can tear each other down, but both work under the biggest devils. Yeah. Well, see, that's why I call for getting these motherfuckers out of the sport. That's one thing that I encourage. Get these fucking, and I talked about this months ago. I talked about getting these goddamn, what they call them people? Promoters. Get their asses out of here. Promoters should only get involved when a fight is made, right? Hire a promoter to promote the fight after the contract signed. So you want a promoter that's going to, right, sell this fight like a motherfucker. Not a promoter that's going to discourage certain fights because they want to build this and build that and they want to have their, man, fuck all that. Get these motherfucking promoters out of here. Let the fighters make the fight. Let the fighters lawyers and managers. That's why they have managers. That's why they have lawyers. Let them deal with that. And then guess what? The network, they hired the promoter to promote the fight. To promote the fight. Not the fighters, the fight. The promoters fight the fight. They get paid based on how much the fight sells, whether it's pay-per-views, whether it be people signing up for DAZN, whether it be tickets, whether it be views, whatever. Let the promoters come in after the fight's made, because these promoters are fucking up the fights. You understand what I'm talking about? The House says there will be no boxing without the overseer, slave master promoters. If one thing Haney versus Norman fight has shown is that these brothers aren't capable of working together. Well, Lit House, to be fair, they're working with each other right now. It's just a lot of bullshit flying around it. The fight's made. The fight's going to happen. The fight is made, Lit House. But I understand your position. Or there's someone going to feel like another black man, little boy in them. Yeah. But it's just, it should be all in the name of the sport and just pushing, making it exciting. That's it. At the end of the day, these brothers, they should shake hands. When the fight's done, they shake hands and they go on to make some more money together some other way. Maybe they push to have more boxers. Boxers need to have more control over how the sport goes because they're the fighters. No boxing without boxers, right? So I think there will be a great change if we get these promoters out of here. And I think that's what Turkey's kind of doing. They're trying to eliminate, he's kind of eliminating the need for these promoters. But if he is trying to rule over the sport and dictate the sport and have Dana White dictating and ruling over the sport, I mean, you create more problems. So fighters need to take more control. Fighters with big names and all that stuff, they need to come together and change the sport for the better. They don't need these promoters. They don't need the damn promoters. Transport, yes. Coach Hudson said the promoter's not even doing the job. It wasn't for YouTube. No. Yeah, exactly. You're right, Coach Hudson. Anyway, y'all, let me go ahead and finish my workout. I'm about to do I might do like 20 rounds on the heavy bag. Depends. Maybe 24. Not a super heavy day. I just got through doing some stuff at the park. I did some jump ropes, and then I did 20 meters of shadow boxing, meaning I go 20 meters shadow boxing using footwork, throwing combinations, using head movement, footwork and all that stuff, just to, just to keep my footwork up, keep my movement up. You know what I'm saying? Then I'll do some push-ups and some. Man, I need to get my phone stand. I need to get my phone stand fixed or get a replacement so I can show you guys a round of what I do. Yes, footwork is very important. Anyway, what happened with Shakur is disturbing. It feels like Turkey lined Shakur up from. I don't know, man. Boxers just need to take more control of their careers, period. Anyway, much love. Thank you guys for coming through. Salute to Intelligent Savage, 5MEO, Trenton Sparks. The trolls eventually went away. Dylan, salute to you. Jake Paul is a promoter that turned into a fake fighter. I would say Jake Paul is a pretty good promoter. He's just promoting fights. He's not promoting a fighter. He's promoting fight cards. And that is the difference of what, just real quick, what Jake Paul is doing. He's promoting the sport of women's boxing. Just women's boxing in general, right? He's not favoring one fighter over another. He's just putting on great fights. Not great fights, because look at Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. That was trash. But you get what I'm saying. Yes, creatine is a supplement worth taking. Jeanette Rivera, I appreciate that. Thank you. Salute to you. Anyway, y'all, salute to Shawa, of course, the beautiful chocolate team. Make sure you drop your link. Tay Jones, salute to him for coming through, and Brian Norman Sr., Lit House, Coach Hudson, of course, Intelligent Savage, Narrator Boy, Karong Entertainment, Tim McCombs, all you guys, thank you for coming through. Listen, y'all go out there and train, man. Go out there and train, stay on it. Get y'all some heavy bags, man. Get y'all some equipment. I encourage everyone, if you guys are into fitness, incorporate fight training in your fitness regimen. No doubt at all whatsoever. And I need to find somebody to spar with. But anyway, Tyson needs to knock. Okay. Much love, like, share, subscribe, and let's keep marching.